Om Shri Sai Ram. The Manusmriti, which is the code of conduct given for humanity, tells us Yatra Naryaha Pujyanti Tatra Ramanti Devataha. Where women are respected, there all the Devatas, the presiding deity, and thus in turn that supreme Godhead, the Parameshwara, also is very happy, revels in happiness. The second line of this shloka also gives us a warning that if women are not respected, afala sarva kriyaha, all your actions become fruitless. Thus, our Vedas have given a status to women which is more than equal. A woman is a 50% partner, a wife, okay, is a 50% partner in all the good which her husband does. If he does a yajna, she just sits beside of him, says Mama when the sankalpa is being done, and then she need not sit through the whole yajna. She has to again come at the time of the finale. This was done as a sort of division of labor also because the women had to look after the catering arrangements for the priest, for all the guests, the prasadam to be made for the devatas. So she was absolved of it. But she would get by default 50% of all the good which her husband does. But she is not a party to the wrong which the husband does, provided she has played her role properly. And what is her role? Bhagavan tells us it is Gruham Ammayi. She is the Sahadharmacharini. She is supposed to walk along with her husband only on the path of Dharma. Lord Rama was once asked, why Sita is so dear to you? So Lord Rama describes as if how Sita plays all the roles to perfection. Bhojaneshu Mata, Shayaneshu Rambha. And the most important he says is Karyeshu Mantri. Karya here means the decision taken to decide what is to be done and what is not to be done. When it comes to decision making, to decide the proper action, she is the mantri. Manana trayate iti mantraha. That is a mantra which, when you think over it, it redeems you. So she acts as his counselor. And thus, it is very important that the women have to be actively, proactively, interested to know what her husband is doing, how he is doing it. It is her role to see that he doesn't stray away from the path of Dharma. And if she does that, or if in spite of her best efforts, she doesn't come to know the wrong that he is doing, in that case, she is absolved of any sin because she may be partaking the food which he has earned. We all know the Brahmarpanam is because there may be a patra dosh, padartha dosh. There may be so many defects in the way the food has been procured, the way the food has been cooked. So all these defects to ward off while saying the prayer, the food prayer is very important. So she gets absolved. But if she doesn't, then she becomes a 50% partner in whatever wrong he does. I will narrate here an incident which happened actually in Puttaparthi. we were in the Prashanti Seva, in the Mandir duty. A group was called for interview, 2 men and 2 women. One of the men was a paraplegic. And after the interview was over, the women came towards the women's side. And they were crying, sobbing. So as not to create a scene in the mandir, I was given the job of taking them a little behind where the water cooler is there and give them little water and soothe them. So I offered them water. In spite of that, the sobbing wouldn't stop. So I thought I should make them talk so that, they'll stop. So I asked, what happened? What did Swami tell you? What happened? Then they narrated that one of them was the national coordinator of some country, European country it was. And she was her friend and a devotee who happened to be the wife of that paraplegic person. Now, this national coordinator, as we talk with Swami, would always be fighting with Swami as to why are you keeping this person who is almost a vegetable alive. So that this lady's whole day, her friend, who would have been an active worker, who would have been a great asset to the organization, her whole time is spent in looking after that person. And there's no result going to come out of it. So when they entered, it seems Swami teasingly told her, come on now, start fighting, because you fight with me every day, no? So as we know, we can't speak in front of Swami. Then Swami told her that I will tell you their past, then you decide whether you want to fight with me. Swami told that this couple, this man was a con man. He had done all the crimes which could be done. And she played the role of his accomplice. She assisted him in all those crimes. So now the karma phalas. He did directly those crimes, so he is suffering directly. And she assisted him in that crime. So now she has to assist him in that suffering. That time Swami said this, that if every woman should play the role of Sahadharmacharini, she should see, not allow, she should protest, then she will be absolved of any wrongdoing the husband does. Thus, this is a lesson for all of us, that Swami always tells that you have to speak your heart with love, of course. You cannot oblige, but speak obligingly. You cannot always move a person away, but as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife, every woman's role is to see that the man in the house is not on the wrong path. See, that's why the verse 3 is 3 letters in that. Sa, Ta and Ra. So the Sa stands for the Satvika. So because women are more Sattvic, they have more of these good qualities. They are soft-spoken, they are loving by nature. But it immediately follows is the Tamo Guna. So if the Sattva Guna is not channeled properly, if it is not put into action, then that sattvic energy, all the intelligence, all the understanding, all that powers which a woman is blessed with go into the wrong channel. And the last is the Rajoguna. And so all the work, so-called, all the domestic chores and everything is mostly given. It is, we should not grudge it, because it is that way by which, by taking to the Rajoguna, doing more and more activities, can we overpower the Tamoguna, and then the Sattva Guna gets channelized into the Rajoguna, and then of course, as the purity sets in, the Rajoguna will naturally fall down by itself. Thus, whatever, if Bhagavan has given us this role as women, it is something to be proud of, because we are his vibhutis. That is what he tells in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, let us conduct ourselves as his vibhutis. Sai Ram.